We're going to take a full advantage of Gaston being here for the million of cardholders, club members as we really like to call them, to learn for the purposes of what's happening here in Peru and what he just had the opportunity to share in Spanish so eloquently. So I have literally three questions for you. The first one I'll start was asked in Spanish. If you can tell our club members, Diners Club started as a club. And it started with fine dining and started with dining. And that's the history of the first card, the first payments company that was created in New York. And it was the first card here in Peru 45 years ago, almost 46 now. And when we think dining, and our club members think dining, they think global dining. And the global gastronomy has been changing. So if you could tell us, what do you see that's happening right now? What are the biggest trends that you see in general on a from a global perspective from you?
Thank you. I am part of a global community of chefs that for the first time we are really, really close in a lot of things, very important things. The community of chefs of my generation and the next generation coming, we share everything we know. We celebrate our differences. We don't compete in the sense of we want to hide what we discover. We are communicating all the time the beautiness of the other chefs. So that message that is very strong in the last 10 years has been building also a community of customers, which without any fear, love with the same intensity a wonderful, amazing French dinner experience than a Peruvian experience, with the same value. But more than that, they love with the same value the experience of going to a fine dining restaurant or going to a marketplace or a street food vendor. That is giving the community in the world the opportunity to have wonderful, amazing experience all over. Not only reserved for fine dining restaurants or expensive restaurants, for any kind of good restaurant. And right now, the chefs are also sharing with the community of customers the responsibilities we are embracing right now that are around our activity. Trying to give the information to the customers about sustainable fishing, local agriculture, environment, education, nutrition, but not in a political way. Doing what we know what to do, which is cooking. Putting on the plate, on the recipes, on the stories we tell, all these details, so that customers could value them and join us in these very important battles to sustain the pleasure of cooking, the pleasure of food, and sending a message, a very peaceful message to the world, that here we are a community of people, of millions of people, working together peacefully, sharing together our culture with other cultures, joining the world through food.
That's fantastic, and thank you for sharing that. The second question has more to do with your kind of leadership. I have been blessed observing you, not just today, but in the past, and how humble you are. Somebody that has over 33 restaurants and opening more, that has traveled a lot, that gets to see a lot of what's happening, not just from a gastronomy point of view, but in general. And the question I would have is, you've been an ambassador of Peru, you know, from the very get-go, and you speak very highly of Peru, but you don't bring the attention to you, you bring the attention to the country. And one of the things that you've done is Mistura as a leader, but you wanted Mistura to stand on his own. So could you tell our club members around the world about what happened What was the genesis of it, and how do you see it today? Because millions of people are going to be here in Peru, but coming from abroad just to visit Peru because of Mistura and what has been created.
Okay. A few years ago, the community of chefs were dominated by vanity, ego, and fear. So that we used to believe, the chefs, that our world ended in the restaurant. And the reality is that the world started in the restaurant, our world. So if we had the chance to liberate of these fears and this ego, we could take profit of all the magic things that the world was offering to us to create stories, dishes, and to share them with our customers. And that was the first. And then we start talking each other together, trying to find points in common, try to understand why we were cooking, what was the purpose of cooking, of our activity. And then we realized that actually we had in cooking a huge opportunity to do much more things than cooking just inside the kitchen in the restaurant. That we could touch in a positive way, that our activity touched in a positive way, education, nutrition, industry, promotion of our country in the world, agriculture, commerce, innovation, a lot of things. So finally we beat the vanity, the ego, the fear, and we start working together. When that happened, everything became very easy because we could design strategies to succeed in the dreams we had. And the dream was to use our food culture to bring honor and pride to our people, from the first one. And the second one is to bring economical opportunities, promoting our country in the world with this part of our culture, with this cooking. Promoting our ingredients, our products, our concepts, and sending the world a message that we are not only a country of commodities, we're a country that creates things. And this message is expanded all over Latin America. And right now, the communities of chefs all over Latin America are working together for that purpose, for their own cultures, because we are a region with a lot of magic stories to share with the world. And if we keep working in that sense, one day we will attract millions of people coming to Latin America to celebrate our culture, and we will be very happy to share with the world our culture. No?
Thank you for sharing that. It's so true. You know, so much to offer in Latin America, and for people to be really attracted to what Latin America can offer. We see that from our club members all the time. One of the things I wanted to ask you, and this is the second to last question, has to do with your personal travel. You know, you have a family, you travel, you're opening your restaurants, but you're also visiting friends, you're visiting other restaurants. And I've learned today from, you know, sort of hearing from you, the Diners Club, you know, was part of that journey. And, you know, we, the company, had the opportunity to provide, you know, some level of loyalty with you as you travel the world. Could you share an anecdote, you know, with the audience here, maybe with our club members, you know, that of a special trip or something that you did that you say, you know what, that was pretty special, and the reason for?
Yes, my relation with diners, yes, of course. When I just got married with my wife Astrid, we didn't have $1 in the pocket, actually. She was pregnant. My father was angry with me because he wanted me to be a politician and I was a cook. At those times, being a chef was nothing about being a chef right now. And I asked for money to every person I knew to have $45,000 to start our dream, which was a small, beautiful restaurant run by my wife and me. She was 20 years old and I was 23. No? And after a couple of years, of course, we were paying our debts. We went with, I went to the Diners Travel Agency, and of course we were absolutely unknown. We have a really limited budget, but we were treated so well that since now, Anna, which was that lady, she is preparing our family vacation till now. No? So I will never forget that moment. No? It's part of my life.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much. The one last question, you just opened a restaurant in Chicago. I took my entire team to your new Tanta restaurant in Chicago. What should we expect from you in US and specifically in Chicago?
Okay, Chicago is doing very well, actually. It's a great city. The people are so nice in Chicago. I received one of the most beautiful compliments I received in my life in Chicago. A lady that was that lived close to the restaurant. She said to the team, "No, thank you very much for bringing your culture to my house." That's really moved us, actually, you know. So we know that's going to be a very nice and very successful restaurant, and we will keep taking to Chicago all the different types of different food cultures that we have in Peru, because a very casual, traditional embassy of Peruvian foods. And now we're opening in the end of November, the beginning of December, in the Mandarin Oriental in Miami. We're opening a Lamar restaurant over the ocean, with a nice terrace. And I hope it's going to be the beginning of different kinds of Peruvian restaurants, not only for our restaurant, that the idea of putting Peruvian food concepts in a so important and luxury company, hotel company as the Mandarin Oriental is very important as a message for Peruvian food chefs, that they can do it too. So I hope they will do better than we do, and they will do, I don't know, ceviche restaurants or creativity restaurants in all the Mandarin Orientals in the world. I hope they are listening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.